An era of knockouts. The American Ring Dominator is not just a story of punches and belts, but a thunderous journey through a golden age of American boxing when fear walked into the ring before the fighters did, an era where the lights were brighter, the crowds were louder, and the knockouts were not just endings but statements of absolute dominance, as America produced a generation of ring warriors whose fists rewrote history and whose presence alone could shatter confidence long before the opening bell rang. This era symbolized raw power, ruthless precision, and an unbreakable fighting spirit forged in gritty gyms, broken neighborhoods, and relentless ambition, where young fighters grew up watching legends and dreaming not of survival but supremacy, and from that hunger emerged an American Ring Dominator whose style was explosive, whose footwork was predatory, and whose knockouts felt inevitable, a fighter who didn't simply defeat opponents but erased hope from their eyes, making every round feel like borrowed time. As the bell rang and the crowd held its breath knowing something violent and unforgettable was about to unfold, this was a time when boxing was pure, brutal, and honest, when fighters didn't hide behind cautious tactics but marched forward with intent, combining speed with savage power, head movement with killer instinct, and confidence with controlled aggression, each fight building a myth, each knockout adding another chapter to a legend that spread beyond arenas into streets, homes, and television screens across America and the world, as commentators struggled to find words strong enough to describe the devastation unfolding before them, because this Dominator didn't just win fights, he defined moments when challengers entered the ring undefeated and left questioning their careers, moments when champions were crowned not by judges' scorecards but by the echo of bodies hitting the canvas, moments when fans knew they had witnessed something historic, something that would be replayed for decades, analyzed by trainers, feared by rivals, and worshipped by supporters. This era of knockouts was fueled by discipline as much as destruction, endless hours of training, studying opponents, perfecting timing, and sharpening instincts until reaction became instinct and instinct became destiny, and while critics debated style and technique, the results spoke louder than any opinion, because numbers don't lie and neither do knockouts, each one a brutal punctuation mark in a sentence written with sweat, sacrifice, and supreme confidence, and beyond the violence there was charisma, a magnetic aura that drew cameras, headlines, and controversy, turning fights into global events and fighters into icons, symbols of American dominance in the ring, reflecting a culture that valued strength, resilience, and the will to rise again no matter how hard the fall. And as the years passed, challenges came with strategies, trainers came with plans, and experts came with predictions, yet the outcome remained hauntingly familiar, as the American Ring Dominator continued to dismantle opposition with terrifying efficiency, proving that this era was not an accident but the result of a perfect storm of talent, timing, and mentality, an era when knockouts weren't surprises but expectations, when fans tuned in not to ask if the fight would end early, but how. And as the final chapters of this era unfolded, the legacy was sealed not just in titles and records but in influence, inspiring future generations to chase greatness, to respect the craft, and to understand that true dominance is earned through relentless work and fearless execution, leaving behind an unforgettable chapter in boxing history where America ruled the ring, the knockouts ruled the night, and one Dominator stood above them all as the embodiment of power, precision, and pure fighting. Will boxing glove fire United States?